Hi everyone. What you're looking at here is an old vintage Valentine box that my husband gave me when we were dating. So this is almost 40 years old, and I'd managed to keep the box, and it's in really good condition other than it's getting super old and vintage. And it says bonbons, Laura Secret candies, 1¼ pounds from Canada, and I just love this box. And I decided that I'm going to make a mini book to go in here. It won't really be mini because this is pretty big, but it's our 40th anniversary, so I kind of want to make a memoirs of our relationship to date and put it in this box. I've always loved these kind of boxes for Valentine's, and I know they're very hard to find now, and if you find them, they're really super expensive. So I thought I would like to make a sort of a mini version of a Valentine box of chocolates, and because I just think that's such a wonderful thing to receive. So I'm going to make one for my mom. She's widowed, but that doesn't mean she can't have sweets in a pretty sweetheart box. So I'm going to show you what I came up with to create my box. So I started off, I'm going to use Mariposa paper, and I'm using this red here, and where's another scrap piece of it? Oh, here. This one with the little bird cages on it, and this piece here. So I started with the Mariposa paper, then I took my Sissix scalloped heart-shaped die, and I cut out 2 pieces out of a really firm cardboard. I think it was from the backing of some watercolor paper or cereal box. That's the thickness of cardboard I'm using. And then I also cut out tops and bottoms of the Mariposa paper to cover them. So this will be the front. There's the cardboard. There's even old paint on it, but I'm covering it up. And then for the back side, I've got this paper there, so that no matter what angle you look at, your heart's going to be covered. So I did that for both the top and the bottom. And then for my box, I'm going to create a small little box. This is the template. I found this on the internet. It's a 5-centimeter box. It's just shy of 2 inches. It's not exactly 2 inches, because if you notice how small the surface you have here to put a little box in, this is my kind of rough template. So this is what I'm going for, so that you lift it up and you can pop a couple of really nice chocolates in there, or a piece of jewelry, or whatever you want. And so it's still a firm box, but it just has a little box underneath. So that's what I'm going for. So to make my box, I used a template and I traced it onto this back side of this paper. So I'm going to cut it out and score it all. So before I forget, if you want this template, as usual, just send me a private message with your email address so I can send you the attachment to get this template, because I looked around for it and I figured it out, so I wouldn't want anybody else to go through the figuring out process. So I'm just going to cut this up. Oh, and then as an embellishment for the front, I use the movers and shapers, the little bird and the bird cage right here, and I cut them out with just some cardboard, chipboard. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these embellishments created right now. Okay, so I covered up my hearts with the paper, like how it turned out, and this side. And then when I put it together, I'm going to put it so that when you're looking at the box, you're going to see the two, imagine it's sort of like this, even though theoretically that would be the bottom and this would be the top. But just for this project, I want it to be like that, so it looks like a complete box. And then onto the box, I took the template and made sure that I transferred the score lines really well. And then I used my Martha Stewart score board to really score it well, so that makes it super easy when you go to put it together. So it's a very simple little box to put together. The flaps go in, and the top comes down like so. And then you're going to adhere the top to the bottom like that. So I am going to use my glue gun to put this together, or you could use that red sticky tape as well, something that you know is going to work really well and be very firm. To apply the paper to the chipboard, I recommend a liquid adhesive, and I love this Scotch Quick Dry because it affords you the opportunity to move the paper around a little bit so that it's lined up really well before you glue it down. And I also took some sandpaper and just sanded around the little rough edges. And I'm also going to take some black distress ink and go around all the pieces, even before I put the box together. So I've just finished using distress ink, black soot, just lightly around the edges. I didn't want it to look too dark, but just to give it a little bit of a distressed look, and I was just picking up on the black and the little cage there. And then I built my box, and like I said before, I used my glue gun. And then before I put the box together, I took a really good art eraser and erased all the pencil marks from the inside. And the box is really sturdy. This Mariposa paper is a nice sturdy printed paper. So with the weight of this, it's going to hold the box down really nicely. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to adhere the box to the bottom. And remember, I want the red side up. So what I found before is if you turn it this way, so we're going to turn it upside down, so make sure that your box is upside down. And if you, because we want to make sure that we get the top on exactly the same place as the bottom's on. So if you count 3 scallops from the side, 1, 2, 3 on either side, and just where the third one ends, that's where you want to put your glue and glue it like that. And it seems to fit right in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to use my glue gun, putting the glue on the bottom of the box, just about 1/4 of an inch in from the edge. So count my 1, 2, 3, and try to keep it as straight as I can. And if you can line up the little points of the box right there, right in the scallop after the third one, just like that. So then when you turn it around, of course, the box is going to open like this, and our top piece is going to glue right on top like so, like that. So I don't want to glue the top piece on yet because I have some embellishing to do. But so the bottom one's ready, so we'll just put that aside for right now. And then I'm going to work on the top. And the next thing I'm going to do is take some really nice black embossing powder, and I'm going to emboss our little bird and our cage. So just before I start embossing my little bird and cage, I want to spray these roses because I didn't have any red ones. I got these roses from Yolanda, Yoli Bean here on YouTube, and honestly I can't remember where she got them, but this was a while back, and she picked some up for me, and I just love them. So I don't know what brand they are, but they're very awesome, and they take spray really well. This is just, I call it my homemade ghetto spray, or ghetto mist instead of glimmer mist. It's red, Riding Hood Red from Stampin' Up! Re-Inker. And so I'm just going to spray these up right now. And look at how nice they take this color. I mean, so pretty and so quickly. And so I'll let them dry while I am embossing the little birdie. So make sure I give them a good deep coat because this paper's red. And what I plan on doing is touching them up with some black stickles. It's more like some glitter glue. I think I picked it up at Walmart. It looks like, yeah, it's glitter glue, Studio G, so it's Michael's glitter glue. And it's quite dark. I think it's really a dark brown, but it looks like black anyway. So once these are all dry, I will embellish them a bit with some of that. There. we'll let those dry. Emboss both sides of my birdie, especially because I'm not exactly sure which way I want my bird to be on the cage. I think this will be the front, but nevertheless, we'll just emboss both sides of him. So I'm just using Versamark and popping him in here. Give him a good coat of this black embossing powder. And then I'll pop him out. Just sit him there for right now and do the same thing with the bird cage. Just give it a good coat. It really helps to re-ink your Versamark, and then it gets really juicy and the cardstock picks it up really well. So I've got both sides covered. And coat that the same way. And I'll get my embossing gun and get these going. And I will be right back. So I embossed my bird cage, as you can see here, and my birdie. And if you're going to be doing a lot of embossing of little items, I really recommend you get some, I think these are Fiskars, yeah they are, tweezers. And the beauty, you can use any other tweezers, but these ones, the handles don't get hot. So when you're holding on to your bird or something and you really want to put a lot of coats on to make sure it's really nice and shiny, you don't get hot tweezers, which really helps because you don't burn your hands. So I'm just kind of playing around with how I want to arrange this, and I think I'm going to take a little tiny little bling like that one there and put in the birdie's eye, and a bigger bling at the top of the bird cage. And then I find that I use this bling so much. It's from our dollar store, and you get quite a little bit, and you can use each little section if you want, or the whole thing. And I'm using this all the time, so I think I might take maybe a bit of that and just run it right there so it scrolls around. So I glued all of my pieces on the top of my heart box there. You can see the bird cage and the little scrolly sequins. And so before I apply the stickles to the roses, I want it attached to the top of the box, but then I thought afterwards I had this really nice wide ribbon, so I am going to try and tie a bow kind of on the side here. I haven't glued anything yet. I'm just going to see if I can, actually I think I'll use ATG because you can remove it. I almost should have done this before I put this box on the bottom piece, but I never thought about it. Come on, glue. There. I'm just going to string a little piece of ATG tape all the way around the box, just so it'll secure this ribbon a little bit for me. And I want the bow to be tied kind of off center. I don't know about you guys, but other than wrapping a gift in scrapbooking and mini books and stuff, I don't tend to have a lot of use for really wide ribbon. So this one I'm just going to tuck the lid down first. And this piece just, I don't know, it just came in perfect, handy perfect for this project. So I am just about done my little box here. So you can see the bow on the side, and I trimmed it and just did one of those fishtail ends on the ribbon. And now I found in my ribbon stash this ribbon, and it had ribbon attached to it, but I cut it off and just kept the bling. I think I used the ribbon for something else. So I am just going to run this right along the bottom here, just for a little added bling, and then I'll be done. So just a couple more things just to finish this off. So I want to make a little tag for this. So I'm just going to use my Stampin' Up! Labels punch here and just punch out a label. And then I'm just going to kind of fold it in half here on the end. and then just kind of make like a banner cut on the end of it. There, so it looks like that. And then I'm just gonna give it a bit of a, so it still has the knobby little end, but that side will be hidden. I am going to take some archival ink, and I'm using the 2 stamp from the Dear Santa set from Stampin' Up. Just going to ink up the 2 just with some ink here. There. And then I'll just put that down right about, oops, there. There. So I've got 2 on there. And then I'm going to take my black sponge that had distress ink on it, there's still a little bit on there, and just ink around the edges of my little label. I've got so much glue and stuff on my fingers. This was a fun project to do today. And then I'm just going to tuck it in, whoopsie, in under one of the flowers so it doesn't really, there, like that. Pop a little bit of glue on it. And then just before I close the box, I thought it might be kind of neat to put some coordinating shredded paper inside of the box. So when that gets a little bit dry, the glue gets more set, I'll curl that label again. So I'm going to take my paper crimper here and run some of the printed paper through that I used for the box. Some of the scraps, I don't even know if I need this much. And do the other piece too. Normally if I was doing a larger box or a larger project, I would use my paper shredder, and I'd run this paper through and then just scrunch it all together. But just because it's such a little box, I'm just going to take some scissors and just cut these up in little tiny strips, and then crunch them all together and shove them inside the box. And I'm going to cut up some ribbon too. So here is my finished Valentine box for my mom, and I think she'll really like it. So there's the 2 and the bling, and then the bling all around the box. And then inside, I think I'm just going to scan a little bit. It's a little too close. There. And inside the box is all that shredded paper and the ribbon. And the ribbon just adds a little cool little touch because the ribbon frayed a bit. So I'm not sure what I'm going to get her. My mom's diabetic, so I might just get her a pair of earrings, and then I always go to this chocolatier, really fancy one called Rocky Mountain Chocolates here in Canada, and I buy unsweetened chocolates for myself and truffles because I've given up sugar. So I think I might get her a couple of those and a pair of earrings, and I think she will love this little Valentine box. So I'll just give you an all-around view, top and bottom. So if you would like the template for the little box, please email me for this 5-centimeter box that the top is adhered to. Please email me and I gladly send you the template. So whip one of these up for somebody you love, or a neighbor or a friend, or make one for yourself. And thanks a lot for watching. Bye.